Z and Anthony got into a fight, and Anthony brandished a knife at Z, after which Z broke a mirror in the bathroom with their fist. Their other coworker, Francisco, has been trying to defuse the situation, telling Z to fix up their hand and go home, because one of the two has to, and Anthony won't. What no one knows is that Z is haunted by a shadowy entity that may emerge at any time, claws out. All right, so then I'm going to read the excerpt. Anthony came storming into the back. Francisco, we got customers. Jesus! Francisco rose and seemed to loom large, even though Anthony towered above him. We have a fucking situation here. You know this is partly your fault, Anthony. What the fuck did you just say to me? Anthony spat back. Are you fucking serious? He broke the mirror like a fucking psycho. The both of you are acting crazy. You're just bad. You scared her with that fucking knife. Oh, come on. I was joking around. That crazy bitch started it. At least she calmed down. She's chilling. You're the one still acting like a crazy bitch, Francisco spit back. Anthony's eyes widened in shock. In an instant, he stepped forward and pushed Francisco backwards. Francisco fell onto Z where they sat on the crate, and Z fell back, hitting their head on the sink. The lights flickered. A strong wind banged against the back door behind them. Z heard a roaring sound in their ears. Yo, what the fuck? Francisco rose to his feet quickly, red with anger, fists balled up in front of his face. Anthony stumbled back a few paces, hands up in front of him. Okay, chill out. The lights flickered again. The room went dark. Z heard a growling sound in their ears. The wind knocked against the back door and blew it open. The wind beat against Z's back. Z felt a shadow creeping up behind them, over them, saw the blood-tipped claws attached to raggedy, smoky hands, the blackened flesh hanging off the ethereal bones, arms slowly reaching out over Z's head. Then suddenly, with a vicious swipe, a ragged claw threw Francisco down to the floor roughly, out cold in an instant. Just as Z screamed and began to try to crawl to him, the ragged shadow plunged and glided straight for Anthony. A clawed hand drew back and drew blood. Anthony howled with 3 fresh claw marks, deep bleeding across his cheek. He stumbled back, half tripping over a bucket, and grabbed a broom, swinging it wildly at the gathered black smog before him, panic in his eyes. For a moment, the smoke solidified into the figure of a man, an ashen, skeletal shadow creature, torn flesh hanging off his bones in tatters under his ragged coat, 2 red glowing eyes beneath the low brim of his hat, jagged sharp teeth curled into a sinister smoking grin. The creature hissed and dispersed into a cloud, and that cloud again thickened and plunged down Anthony's throat. He dropped the broom. It clattered to the tiles. He began to sputter and choke. No, Z screamed and reached up from the floor uselessly with their glass shard-studded hands. As much as Z feared, maybe he hated Anthony, they did not want to watch him die. But the creature did not care what Z wanted and returned with a hollow, rusty, rattling, mocking laugh echoing across the kitchen. Anthony reached behind him blindly, his hand desperately seeking for something, and he picked up a butcher knife. He picked up a butcher knife and he plunged it into his own throat again and again. No, Z screamed again hoarsely, scrambling finally to their feet and lunging forward, hands reaching for Anthony's hands to grab it, to stop him. But the black cloud emerged and solidified in front of Anthony. The ragged creature again now stood facing Z. As behind it, Anthony choked and sputtered on his own blood with a knife in his throat, sinking against the counter. The ragged man's red eyes glowed viciously deep in shadow, and his sinister smirk twisted until the face became pure howling rage. And the claws came down and slashed across Z's face with one hand and plunged into their guts with the other, pulling out blood, trailing droplets in the steam between them. Z gasped and pressed their good hand to the wound, the broken hand still stuck with shards, flailing desperately, and stumbled back onto the ground. They heard a screeching sound cut the air. The creature's twisted, shadowy face loomed huge in front of Z's face, blocking everything else out until even the red eyes faded and everything went black. All right, that's it. Thank you.
So what you're saying is, when this book comes out, don't get attached to Z.
Well, I'm not saying that now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for reading. It's great to have you here.